So it's been a while since I talked about Diddy on this channel, where I basically said there was something off about him from the beginning when he was involved in the Tupac Biggie saga. But now we all know that he just basically got away with murder, for lack of a better term, and we're going to talk about it. But first, I want to talk about the racketeering charges, as people might not know what that means. Racketeering is a set of illegal activities aimed at commercial profit that may be disguised as legitimate business deals, such as fraud, extortion, bribery, threats, violence, or other illegal means. So without further ado, let's get into it. Count 1 of racketeering conspiracy, not guilty. Count 2 of trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion of Cassie Ventura, not guilty. Count 3, transportation to engage in prostitution, Cassie Ventura, guilty. Count 4, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion for Jane Doe, not guilty. Count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution by Jane Doe, guilty. And of course, everybody had the craziest reactions and mixed reactions to this entire saga. By one person I mean DJ Academics, was saying Diddy beat Rico and trafficking charges and only got found guilty for prostitution. It has no mandatory minimum. He could get time served. Diddy won. Another person says, how the F is this possible? Diddy had the entire Johnson & Johnson baby oil supply in his mansion. Prosecution painted Diddy as some freak monster when they should have been more focused on proving how he's a criminal. This trial was a waste of time, and it seems like they tried him just to embarrass him. And honestly, I did find that a little interesting, as to nobody really knew what this trial was about. Was it about Cassie? Was it about all the crazy stuff that he was doing? We didn't really find out what this was about until the very end. It almost seemed as if Kid Cudi testified for no reason, because this trial was all over the place. Were they going to dig up some of his past stuff? Or were they just going to let that slide and focus on what he did to Cassie back in 2016? That's what made this interesting, but we continue as to what people had to say. That Diddy verdict don't even make sense, lol. How you not guilty of trafficking, but guilty of prostitution transportation? There have been actual S3X workers that have been said, I did not feel like I was a part of a prostitution ring. I did not feel trafficked. I was making money to go play in between the sheets. They were like, who would get mad at that? How was that a crime? And I think the prosecution or even the defense was like, wow, we could use that to our favor. And that's basically what they did. So for those people that are like, he's guilty for trafficking but not guilty for prostitution, well, that's because prostitution is really on the fence of, if it's against your free will, then it's prostitution. But if you actually enjoy getting it done and being paid to go have, then it is not considered prostitution. Cassie's lawyer wrote a statement by saying, this entire criminal process started when our client, Cassie Ventura, had the courage to file her civil complaint in November 2023. Although the jury did not find Combs guilty of trafficking Cassie beyond a reasonable doubt, she paved the way for a jury to find him guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution by coming forward with her experience. Cassie has left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for justice. We must repeat with no reservation that we believe and support our client, who showed exemplary courage throughout this trial. She displayed unquestionable strength and brought attention to the realities of powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that has persisted for decades without repercussion. This case proved that change is long overdue, and we will continue to fight on behalf of survivors. The Diddy verdict is a message to all women that they are not believed. Sorry to the women out there, the victims especially, they deserve better. But I'm going to call bullshit on that tweet, mainly because my guy DJ Vlad, he had something very interesting to say about Cassie. He said, Cassie is guilty of the same prostitution charges Diddy was convicted of. I interviewed 3 of the male escorts. All 3 of them said the same thing. Cassie picked them, contacted them for freak-offs, enjoyed the experiences, and paid them. Meanwhile, she's sitting on $30 million and writing letters to the judge asking him to not give Diddy bail. I agree it's a message to all the survivors, but if you're going to go after somebody in that regard, be sure you have all your ducks in a row rather than just spewing nonsense, because ultimately that's what got Diddy the charges that got him and what he was found not guilty of. Now on to Diddy's response. I love y'all, he said. I feel good, stay in the light, see y'all when I get out, as if it's a for sure thing. But people around him were saying when Judge Subramanian entered the courtroom at 5:16 p.m. and wasted almost no time announcing that bail was denied, his reasoning was twofold. First, he said barring exceptional circumstances, it was required by law that Combs be incarcerated until he is sentenced. Second, he continued, even if that wasn't the case, the Mogul could not prove as required that he wouldn't be a danger to anyone. Maybe because he'll have a hit out on anyone and everyone that testified. Subramanian was unswayed by Agnifilio's efforts and reiterated that Combs would be held in jail until sentencing. A hearing to settle details about the sentencing will be held remotely on Tuesday, July 8th, which is tomorrow. Subramanian said that the type of temper-instigated interpersonal violence Combs engaged in would be impossible to police with bond conditions. The only thing exceptional about this defendant is his wealth, his brassness, his violence. She's retorted. She also called Agnifilio's characterization of the Jane attack as self-defense insulting. Do I think that this entire thing was out to make Diddy look bad? Yes. Do I think that this piece of shit deserves to be locked up for the rest of his life? Yes. But there's a reason why he paid tens of millions of dollars. He can and will probably get served with yet another lawsuit about things that happened in the past, but at that point it'll just be like circling the wagon and he'll get off unless someone comes with actual substantial evidence that he has done all these crimes. No one's going to believe him. And these days, you're guilty until proven innocent. Trust me, I want to see Diddy go away more than anybody on this planet, especially after what he did to Biggie, especially after what he did to Tupac. But this guy really played the game, and he had the right lawyers to the point where you could compare this lawyer's run to a prime Kobe Bryant. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think he'll get time served? Do you think he'll get off? Do you think we'll be right back here in 2035 debating the exact same topics? It's your boy Hollywood AJ. I love each and every single one of you. Please let me know what type of content you want to see me do next. I'll see you on the next video.